Have you seen the new Superman movie? If you haven't, then you really should go see it. It's really good. And this is not going to be a review or anything, or rather this is my review. The movie is good, you should go and see it. I was never too much of a DC guy. My favorite superhero was always Spider-Man. Very original, I know. But if there is a fun, uplifting, colorful superhero movie, then goddamn it, I am going to see that fun, colorful, uplifting superhero movie. And that's pretty much what Superman is. It upholds all the ideas of Superman. You know, kindness, righteousness, empathy, all the good stuff. And so you would think to yourself, great, you know, that's what a superhero does, that's what Superman does, you know, they're doing good and being good. How could possibly anyone have a problem with that? And oh, how wrong would you be if you thought that? Because there are people who have problem with this kind empathetic approach to superheroism, and that is the anti-woke crowd.
I don't know. We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. I wonder if it'll be successful.
Just to play the devil's advocate for a second, I can see why these people would say that Superman is betraying the core idea of the character. What you probably know by now, Superman was created by two Jewish authors, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Now, as you would imagine, as many other authors, they used aspects from their own lives as an inspiration for this character. One major event that influenced Superman's invention. In 1932, Siegel's father died during a night robbery, which led to the creation of Superman, who would protect innocent people from criminals and bullies. But Superman was created in 1938, so as the Nazi Germany has recently taken over Austria and fascism was on the rise in Europe, and as you would imagine, two Jewish American creators found that very concerning. Understandably, they would want to take a stance against Nazis. So on one hand you have the Superman that, you know, protects the weak, he's kind, he saves people, and on the other hand you have the Superman that takes a very strong stance against the Nazis and the rise of fascism, which not to say that those two are mutually exclusive. In fact, they're not, they go hand in hand. What I'm trying to say is you have a personal inspiration for this character, and then you have a political inspiration. And as luck would have it, the American ideals as the land of opportunity and freedom would naturally stand against fascism. And that's not to say that America was perfect. As I said, those were the ideals. America was still and still is very racist, but Superman's patriotism stood for what America could be, the beacon of hope. This patriotism was not nationalism. And by the way, that's by far not exclusive to Superman. It's no secret that many comic book superheroes would be used to make political statements, sometimes even downright propaganda. You can see that with Iron Man, for example, who was created as a response to the Vietnam War, even one of his biggest enemies being the Crimson Dynamo, who would be portrayed as a Soviet agent. In fact, regarding the creation of Iron Man, Stan Lee would say it was a time when most of us genuinely felt that the conflict in that tortured land really was a simple matter of good versus evil, which you might say has nothing to do with Superman, but it does describe the general mood of creators during that time. Sometime later, the creators would recontextualize some iconic characters, like for example in Fantastic Four Life Story, Captain America sides with Vietnam during the Vietnam War, even though I think in the main universe canon he wasn't actually involved in Vietnam at all. That was more of the Punisher thing. I'm not sure though, because the main universe, the main comic universe is very convoluted sometimes. You see my point though. Politics is something that's very integral to some of these characters. And because of that, when it comes to modernization of these characters with today's political climate, you only really have two options. Either Superman stays true to his values, you know, kindness, empathy, protecting the innocent and the weak who do not not have the power to protect themselves, which, whether you like it or not, includes immigrants, or he becomes a propaganda tool for your own agenda. And what exactly do you want Superman to do? Yes, he's an immigrant, and there's nothing in this world you can do to change this aspect of his character. Was the movie just supposed to be a fence sitter, essentially ignoring everything that's going on in the world currently? Do you want him to like not help people of different skin color? Do you want him to not let people see opportunity in the land of opportunity? No, these people only have problem with quote-unquote politics when it doesn't align with their own values. Because who would have thought that this illegal immigrant would not be against immigrants? What do you expect him to do, like deport himself?
And to have somebody throw their ideology onto us, I wonder if it'll be successful.
And then this bitch is talking about some, let's see if it will be successful. Well, as it turns out, Superman was pretty successful. Art is and always was responsive to whatever is happening in the world. I don't go to the movies to be lectured about things. Get out! There's this other big aspect of Superman, which is Borovia. Now, Borovia in the movie and in the comic books is an Eastern European country. In the movie, it is conquering its neighbor country, Jahranpur, which also is of a comic book origin. And whatever way you wanna spin it, whatever way you wanna look at it, this is directly Israel and Palestine, you know, analogy. You could also argue that it is like a Russian and Ukraine analogy, which definitely has some like undertones of that conflict. Which is true, like Borovia is using like a, you know, like a very Russian language. And again, the both countries are Eastern Europeans. But at the same time, in the real world, USA and Russia are not allies. Here in the movie, USA is shown to be the ally of Borovia, and the flag of Borovia, like it's not even subtle or anything. It literally, like, it has the star that's, you know, it's not the Star of David, but it's very reminiscent. And the funny thing is, Borovia is portrayed as very comically evil. There's like no like morally gray argument you can make about it. There's like no both sides argument you can make about this. No, Borovia is very fucking evil. And so I know it's Israel, and you know it's Israel, and Israel know it's Israel, as they are calling for the boycott of Superman because, you know, he is against genocide. But let me ask you something. Let's say if it was, you know, just a random fictional event, a random fictional conflict between two countries, because I believe that's what James Gunn said, that it was written before October 7th. Israel is never name dropped in the movie. So then why would you assume that this country that's very comically evil, that has no redeeming qualities, that's killing children and, you know, that's doing all the bad stuff, is about you? Unless, of course, it's true. And the little theory that, you know, it's just a fictional conflict between two countries, that's something that many conservative creators want you to believe.
And the idea that Borovia is Israel in this iteration, like a longtime U.S. ally that's randomly invading countries for territorial gain, that does not match up to any of the facts on the ground that we know of at all. That's not real. So
that's for example, Ben Shapiro wants you to believe. And you know, he's not as stupid as he sounds. So he himself knows that, you know, the movie is about Israel, but he cannot admit it because that would actually go against his own beliefs. So people like that have to pretend that there is a bunch of other things that are wrong with the movie, so they can criticize it and say that it is not good, just so they can hate the movie because it is about Israel, while simultaneously pretending that it is not about Israel. It's also funny how people try to weaponize the fact that Superman was created by two Jewish creators and is now used to criticize an oppressive country that's currently committing a genocide. Yet again trying to sell the story that being Jewish equates to being a Zionist, which it does not. Yes, and this is from the Times of Israel, which, as you might expect, is the most unbiased, news outlet in the the world, I'm sure. People even decided to start bringing up James Gunn's controversial tweets from like 15 years ago. Anyway, that is basically what I wanted to say. I wanted to keep it as spoiler free as possible. So in case you have not seen the Superman, you can go and see it. As I said, it's really good, it's really fun, it's really uplifting. I'm really looking forward towards the sequel that's definitely going to happen despite of what all these people are saying. I'm also really looking forward to this whole James Gunn universe. It really feels like a breath of fresh air after the Snyderverse. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe, because I think that's what Superman would do. If you want to be like Superman, you need to like and subscribe.